We found our patient like this when we walked in. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to get her into a much more comfortable position by moving her up to the head of the bed.
It's important that you use the algorithms that you learned in lab in order to determine if you're able to move the patient and how many people you will need to help you. You must realize that you will often need a mechanical lift.
So there are actually a lot of things to do while moving the patient. You will see nurses kind of rush through it, but we'll walk you through the steps. First of all, you want to raise the bed up to your waist level to make it easier for moving. Next, you're going to move the patient's pillow up to the front of the bed to make it easier for them to slide up. Can you raise the bed actually a little bit higher for me, please? Sure. So the patient can also help when moving up higher on the bed. Could you please lift your knees up for me? Okay. And make sure your feet are flat. Alright, so we're going to slide you up. All you need to do is lift yourself up. Don't push yourself forward. Tuck your chin into your chest and give yourself a hug. Alright, so I'm in charge.
Okay.
And on the count of 3, we're going to use our hips and legs to move, not the back. So ready? 1. To keep yourself from using your shoulders and your forearms, you want to lock your arms at your sides while you're moving the patient.
We now have the bed at a good working height. We've put the side rails down so they don't get in our way. Now we're going to give our patient instructions.
The patient can help you by bending their knees and keeping their feet flat on the bed.
Okay, Miss Pryor, we're going to ask you to help us so we can move you better. What we're going to ask you to do is hug yourself and then put your chin to your chest and then lift up slightly.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
I will be in charge of executing the move. On the count of 3, we're going to move her. Good. 1, 2, 3.
Now we are going to place the patient in the modified lateral position.
So now we're going to move the patient to the side, so that way when we roll her on her side, she has room. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alright. Get your patient in alignment, in this case by moving her shoulders over. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Now before we roll her onto her side, you want to put the side rail up to ensure patient safety. That way she doesn't come rolling off the bed. And now we're going to roll her onto her side. So, come on.
To put her in the semi-lateral position, we're going to put a pillow underneath her and kind of like press it in. And then to ensure the pillow doesn't move, we're going to fold it under and lock it in position.
You want the pillow underneath the mat to prevent it from getting soiled.
The other thing you want to do is make sure that your patient's legs are in a comfortable position. So you're going to take another pillow, you're going to lift the leg. If the leg is heavy, you can get somebody to help you. Don't be afraid to ask. And then you're going to place the pillow under the patient's leg in a way that looks comfortable. Another position for the legs that seems to be comfortable for the patient is when you pull the leg on the pillow back like this and the other leg's a little bit forward. You can do this at your discretion and also at the patient's request. Depends on how pressure points and things are doing.
Take a look at your patient's spine, shoulders, and hips and make sure that they are aligned properly.
Review where the pressure points are in your book.
For the exam, it is important that you have the side rails up, the bed locked and in the lowest position. Also, the call bell should be within reach, and this is all to ensure patient safety.
Make sure that throughout your entire nursing practice, no matter what you do, that you make sure to explain things to your patient.
It's important to ensure patient privacy by closing the curtain and closing the door. However, when you are moving the patient, you have to make sure that you do not displace any tubes. It is often necessary to pull the sheets down to make sure all tubes are in place and accounted for.
You wouldn't want to be in a situation where you move the patient and accidentally pull this out.
When you're going to be putting a patient in the Sims position, there are 3 key points. First, you want to move them over as far as you can to the side. Then you want to move this arm underneath them. And then third, you want to put a pillow on this side so that when you roll them over, there's something there to support them. Okay, I'm going to execute this move. 1, 2, 3. You want to make sure the patient's shoulders are aligned.
Make sure that their arms tucked in. Thank you. Put a pillow on their side.
Now we are going to move the patient over to this side.
Make sure you keep the rail up.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Now you also want to get a pillow and put it underneath the legs, because anywhere bone touches bone, you want to put a pillow. That on.
Now I'm going to move this arm.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah. There are 3 key things that you must do when you're going to put a patient in the Sims position. First, you're going to have to move the patient as far over to this side as you can so that when you roll them over, there will be enough room. Second, you're going to have to move this arm under the patient. And third, you're going to have to place a pillow on this side so that when the patient rolls over, there is something there to support them.
Ready?
Okay, so now we are going to move the patient. And I will be executing this move. 1, 2, 3.
You want to make sure the patient is aligned. Now,
You have to be sure to put the side rail up so that the patient doesn't fall.
and second key point was to tuck the arm in and get a pillow. Side. All right.
Okay, so now we're going to turn the patient over. 1, 2, 3.
Now, anywhere bone touches bone, you want to put a pillow, such as here underneath the legs, in between the legs.
Now I'm going to move her arm out from under her.
You never want to use this position with people with respiratory problems.
It's important to look at your patient's alignment, and clearly this is not the way you want your patient to be laying down. So you're going to have to move their arm a little bit and to help them arrange their shoulders. This should be more comfortable for the patient.
Once you're done, you want to make sure that your patient is comfortable. For Ms. Pryor, I'm going to move her head down this way. Get an extra pillow for underneath her arm. And adjust her legs just a little bit. Are you comfortable?
In this position, as in every position, you need to make sure you know what to do about foot drop and pressure point.
For your exam and for in your practice, you want to make sure that the side rails are up, that the bed is down and locked, and that the call bell is within reach.